All right, so we got some very unfortunate news today that the Streetcar Takeover Elite event we came to Denver for is canceled due to weather this weekend. We're going to make the most of it though, so we're here on their Wednesday night test and tune to do what we came here to do and to run in DA. I've never personally ran in any kind of altitude other than maybe 3,000 feet when a bad day in Florida is probably the highest I've ever ran in. We've made some adjustments to the car to compensate for spooling, and we're real curious just to see how it does. Like, will it spool? Or will it take nitrous? There's nitrous on it in case it doesn't spool, because we were coming a long way, so we wanted to be prepared. And then also, how much does the DA affect the ET? We hear a lot of different corrections and calculations, but we have tune-ups that we know exactly what it'll run to the 1/8 mile, to the 1/4 mile, and we're gonna run that same exact tune-up here, and then see what the horsepower, what the ET variance really truly is, and it's just gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna go ahead and spool test the car without the nitrous, just to see if it will come up to starting line RPM with the DA. So that was actually not that bad. Wow. Still spooled faster than Jim's car normal. I mean, it's workable. I think, I don't know, I'll make a decision. Maybe we'll just use a little nitrous so that way we can keep the trans temps what we normally run them at. The thing with consistency with these cars is we always have all our temperatures the same. We try to keep the trans temp, engine temp, oil temp at the starting line the same every time, because it affects how the torque converter works and things. So if we're taking twice as long to spool as usual, our starting line trans temps aren't going to be the same as what they are used to, or what we used to race with. So we may still use a nitrous, just a little sprinkle, and get it up there in the 3-second range. All right, so I'm gonna pull the data log and just take a peek at how long that took to spool. It was definitely longer than normal, but it was raceable, so pretty excited about that actually. Maybe we won't be as slow as I think we're gonna be out here. Yeah, so the spool time, like we thought, was on the long side. It took about 7 seconds, which is not really good, very good raceable if you're in racing conditions, because you don't have a lot of time to get in before tree time's out. But I'm still just happy it got up there, really. We'll just turn the nitrous on and get it up in a few seconds. And we're just on a test and tune night, and they don't really prep the track here. It's just open street cars. So we're gonna put in a tune-up that should run like a 485 in 2,000 foot DA. So hopefully the starting line has enough to get that stuck, and then we can just see what it runs there. For reference, just key on, this thing will normally, the map sensor will rest at 100 kPa. So, and that's just the normal barometric pressure of the atmosphere. Up here, it's at 80. So there's just nothing in the air. I mean, you can look, the boost gauge is reading -2 PSI with the car off. So there's no vacuum in the engine, it's just the vacuum in the air. Like we're 10,000 feet in the sky.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. And but I'm excited. Like this stuff is cool. It's fun to do. I'm glad we're here. We came out for the test and tune to see how this goes. The traction conditions here are less than ideal for sure. So part of our weight ballast of the car is this drag and drive fuel cell holds about 12 gallons of fuel. So normally we'll race with 4, enough to keep the pump submerged. Well, it's mechanical, but enough to keep the pickup submerged and make the passes. But now we'll put about 8 gallons in there and get some free ballast.
It's an 1/8 mile car, 1/4 mile.
It's a 1/4 mile car, but it'll do some 1/8 mile stuff if it needs to.
Cool. Good tip is they'll spray at 7 o'clock. Stop.
At 7?
Yeah,
okay.
So you want to be in the line here.
Okay, right before 7?
Then you'll get some good prep.
Thanks, man. Oh, a pretty cool part of this track is that the staging lanes are downhill. So the car is literally off right now. We're coasting downhill, getting ready to do first pass. And he just said that at 7 they should be doing another round of spraying. So hopefully that should help us out. We can do a little slow pass right now, and maybe a little bit of a quicker one later on. Like he got into traction control a little bit coming out, and he let off obviously on the parachute. All things considered, not too bad, but let's go back and see what the log shows and how the slip showed.
All All right, so we made our first pass. It went well. It was on a sportsman tree, so I didn't bump in. I just let it come on the boost. The gate up on the chip was fine. It took a little bit to build boost. I let go a little early. It didn't quite get to the 11 pounds I wanted to leave on. So it was a little slow off the starting line, and then when the power came in, it spun. I pedaled it some, and then it got in the traction control into like 3 spots down track. But it went 5.1 at 160, and I think I let out actually at like 4.9. So given the circumstances that run should have only ran like a mid 480 in our normal DA, I'm extremely happy that with that 5.1. There's enough turbocharger on the car to overcome for the air, seems to be what we're dealing with, and they're going to prep, and we're going to run it again, and do the same pass, see if we can't get to that 480 on the same power level.
So it drizzled for about 5-10 minutes and it's drying up right now. They're gonna do a quick prep and see if we can get the Mustang in first. That way we can do some nice launching stuff and hopefully get a nice pass, at least to see what it would do without as much pedaling or as much traction control, and hopefully get a nice pass. So Brett's looking at it right now. Tia's up there too. And look at the views. Look at that. Look at that mountain line right there. This is gorgeous. All right, heading off around the 8th to win a 757 at 158.
Mad at it. It went 496 on a 480 tune-up.
Oh,
like,
man.
It in traction control like 2 or 3 times. I held it a little past the 8 just so like people could see the 7,
right.
750 with the shootout. Like
that's wild.
It was cool.
All things considered, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like there's no doubt if we could work on the shocks or put some weight in the back to work with the service and be able to be 100% power on this tune, like I think it's going to be right around what it ran in the lower DA.
That's crazy to think about though. How impressive the car is to be able to still do that.
Right, yeah, the setup and the tuning is just amazing. The engine moves a lot of air, and these turbos are just working with this combination. Thanks, Precision. So we're wrapping up here for a night at Bandamere for their Wednesday night test and tune. Had a phenomenal time. We got to meet a ton of people that knew the car, got to see it for the first time. It was really a lot of fun. And the test and tune nights, it's kind of just a free-for-all. There's one class, it's just cars, and there was a blown alcohol thing and then street cars. It was pretty neat. So we were just running in the line with those cars. They don't really prep a lot. We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. So we were just going to put tune up in the car that we knew would go down a not a very good surface, that we know has ran a low 480 at like 165 to the 8th, and compare the data for the DA things, right? The car spooled without any nitrous. Was excited about that. Second pass we went down, it spun, I pedaled it probably 40 to 80 feet out, and then it rolled some traction control twice in the middle, and went a 490 at 163. So based off those numbers, I know if I made a pass all in, it would never pulled any power and I didn't have to pedal it, it would go a 480, probably at 164 or 165. So maybe now I have more questions than I had at the beginning of the night when I thought we were going to slow down 0.2 like we were told. I really need to just go over the data in the log, and I think what happened is the turbocharger, we're running the car on like 30 pounds of boost right now. And we run the car all out when it runs 420s or what it runs, it's running 50 pounds of boost, 48, 50, 51 sometimes. The turbocharger is getting close to its max at that boost, so the drive pressure is really high. At 30 pounds of boost, it's in the very center of its efficiency range, right? So now if we can compare back pressure and a few other things, the turbo may be working as hard as it works at 50 pounds of boost to create 30 pounds of boost. So maybe the turbocharger is just making up for the lack of air in the altitude by working harder, spinning faster at the lower boost levels. So possibly at 50 pounds of boost, the car would be a lot slower. But because we have a very efficient setup at the lower boost levels, the efficiency is making up for it by driving the turbo harder to make the same power as it does at other DAs, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna go home, compare the data, have Jay look at it, Job look at it, and then see if that was actually the case. Maybe the whole DA, you know, run better here, run worse there, may just be combo related, which, you know, I'm sure a lot of people know the answer to this. We just came into this never doing it before and learning as we go. So it's pretty neat. It's been a lot of fun, and it's Wednesday night. We were supposed to race this weekend. We're not racing, so we're debating now on what to do. We heard of a small tire race that Mike Morello and Birdman are putting on at Pueblo, not tomorrow, Saturday, and then a PSCA race here on Sunday, which this car fixed the XDR class, and the small tire class Saturday, it will be competitive in both of those classes. So maybe we just race 2 more races instead of missing out on a race completely. Go to Pueblo Saturday, run that deal, come back here Sunday, race that, and then head home. That's pretty much it for the night. So hopefully we get to do some more racing this weekend. If not, when we get back, we have a few changes happening to the car. Some things in this area and a little bit in that area before FL2K and World Cup. Those are our next big races. So we're gonna change a couple things, go test, hit those races hard. We're looking to win the Extreme 28 class for Race Quattro, FL2K, and then win Warriors versus Race Quattro World Cup. Like that, my mind is set on that goal, and I'm gonna work very hard to achieve it this year. Have bad luck the last 2 years of World Cup finals. First round knocked me out from bad decisions made on my part. There's nothing else said. I just won the tires both first rounds the last 2 years there. So I have a lot of redemption for myself personally and for the team and everyone that supports me to go out and watch me race, and the companies that help with the car. So I really want to win that event, or at least make it past first round. And then if we make it past first round, I feel like we're going to be good then. So yeah, so FL2K, World Cup finals. Stay tuned. I'm going to start doing a lot more updates like this. So if you like it, please keep watching. If you want to have any questions, just leave them in the comments and we'll try to answer them. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.